Pro Football Weekly is previewing the offseason for all 32 teams. Right now, we're looking at the Miami Dolphins. Kevin, big question I think you have to figure out before anything else, what's happening at quarterback?
Well, they're going to make a move in free agency of the draft. They're going to bring someone in to hopefully, for them, be the franchise quarterback. Is it going to be Peyton Manning? You know, if Manning is healthy, if he's available, I think the Dolphins are going to make a huge push and give him everything they got in that bank to try to bring him there. If it's not Manning, Matt Flynn. We all know Joe Philbin, the new head coach, very familiar with Flynn. Probably going to be the most high-profile free agent quarterback. Could they go after him? And if those two don't pan out, maybe they go get Robert Griffin III, trade up in the draft, and make a splash there. Someone's going to come in and either be the starter right away or compete with Matt Moore. It's just a question of who. What
happens with Matt Moore now?
I think with Matt Moore, if it's Robert Griffin, Moore gets to keep a starting job. And even if it's Matt Flynn, you could see Moore and Flynn in a bit of a training camp battle. He had a very good season, but I think that the organization has been very upfront that Matt Moore is not the future of the Dolphins at quarterback. He doesn't cost a whole lot. He's got another year, and I think they're perfectly fine with him being the backup. But ideally, they bring someone else in.
We know the new head coach there, you mentioned Joe Philbin. They played pretty well down the stretch, though, for a couple of coaches before finally, the offseason Philbin being named. What can Philbin do to kind of change things, or does he have to change much considering they did play well?
Well, luckily he's getting a team that showed that they could play well, as you mentioned, when everything is going wrong. This is a team that's got some veteran leaderships. You got guys like Carlos Dansby, Brandon Marshall, Reggie Bush coming off a career year. This is a group that really rallied together and played for Tony Sparano even after Sparano was fired. So I think that's always a good sign when you know that you have the locker room chemistry there that winning teams really have shown they've had.
On the defensive side, you mentioned Carlos Dansby. They were expected, I think, to be, maybe a top 5, between 5 and 10 unit in the league. They were still pretty good. Are they ready to do that now?
Well, there still needs to fill some missing parts. The run defense was sensational last season. That's going to get mixed up a little bit. We don't expect Paul Soliai to return. Kendall Lang for another question mark. They need another pass rush. They need somebody to throw on the opposite side of Cameron Wake, really compliment him. Those cornerbacks, Vontae Davis, Sean Smith, two pretty young, talented guys, they need a safety. When you play the Patriots and Gronkowski Hernandez twice a year, and these other teams, these big tight ends, you really need a safety. And the Dolphins, if they can improve at center of that defense, they could be a playoff contender with that defense, and then again with the quarterback.
It was not that long ago where they were a winless team and it looked like just a franchise that was in serious trouble. Now, even though a new head coach, a new quarterback, they look like they could be pretty close to a playoff berth. That's a look at the offseason for the Miami Dolphins. For the best coverage of the league, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about the NFL Draft, and Pro Football Weekly's new draft database has you covered. Check out updated player rankings for over 750 prospects and our exclusive PFW Stock Watch. Just go to the Draft tab at ProFootballWeekly.com.